Hello world, it's Raine Baljak here, and I have not been very consistent about these videos, but I'm trying my very best. And I think the reason why I've been so inconsistent is because number one, I've just not been able to set a proper schedule for recording them, and number two, schedule's just been quite hectic. I mean, like, if you're someone with eczema, then you'll understand that sometimes you cannot control how you are in your present moment because the itch is controlling you. And the reason why I'm recording this video is because I wanted to touch base on some of my recent posts on Instagram talking about traditional Chinese medicine. So there are a lot of people who have different opinions about traditional Chinese medicine, and I thought to share some of my experiences. And this that you see here, these sachets, contain herbal concoctions that my doctors from this clinic produce. So what that means is, depending on the state of my health when I come for my consultation, they will adjust the contents of the herbal medicine prescription depending on what I need for that time. So if my skin has more redness and inflammation, then they would change this. If I'm experiencing insomnia because I keep scratching in the middle of the night, then they'll change this. If my body is feeling too much heat, then they'll change this. Now, this sachet I have to slice open and drink with water, and I do this 30 minutes before every single meal. So I have 3 of these in the day. And then I see my traditional Chinese medicine doctor twice a week. So on a Tuesday and then on a Friday. So they give me enough to last me until the next session. And when I come in for these sessions and we discuss how my health is and how my sleep is, what my diet's like, what my fecal matter looks like, afterwards I receive acupuncture. And there are a lot of people who have different opinions about their experiences, but I can only speak about mine. Now, my experience with acupuncture has been very positive. I end up sleeping so much better during the acupuncture session than in my own bed at home, because I'm just in such a relaxed state, because like the feng shui of the space is all wooden and quite traditional interior design, and then they play like this traditional Chinese folk music, and then they've got a fish tank, and then lots of plants. So obviously, like, this atmosphere creates a very calming ambience. And as a result, after the needles are stuck in me and then the acupuncture lasts 25 minutes, I'm there like in this dream-like state. And then suddenly I'm like, and I sleep so well during my 25-minute rest. After the session's done, then I have to pay for the acupuncture and the herbal medicine prescription, and then we book the next session. Everyone's eczema is different, everyone's health condition is different, and so people come in for different things, whether that is a muscle problem, maybe they've got carpal tunnel, maybe there's something wrong in their gastrointestinal tract. In my case as well, on Tuesday of last week, which was the 16th, I actually sprained my ankle while rock climbing. So for my acupuncture session, which is supposed to be just for my eczema, we end up treating my sprained ankle. And that's where I can really attest that the acupuncture really works, because the swollenness of my left ankle when I arrived at the clinic was so significant in comparison to after the acupuncture session. And even the next day, the swelling tenderness of my sprained ankle significantly reduced, and I was then allowed to walk on my ankle, which I couldn't before the acupuncture session. And so that's where this is where I'm now like sharing my experiences with traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, and the herbal medicine prescription that I have, because it's been such a positive experience for me since February 24th that maybe it could help other people with their eczema. Now, I'm not just on traditional Chinese medicine since February 24th. I am also still on my Dupxient injection. So this is another topic that I want to bring up. I started on my Dupxient biologic injection in February of last year, 2023. And at the time, I only was treated with Dupxient. I came off of steroids. And because of my degree being in health science with a focus on nutrition and exercise, I made my own adjustments to my lifestyle and my diet and my fitness routine in order to help my body recover from the eczema, because there are a lot of studies that suggest exercise helps improve your adaptive immunity. And depending on what nutrients you intake, that can help aid your recovery process. And so with my knowledge and my experiences, I handled my own case last year in Australia through this kind of method. Since moving to Taiwan in February, I've experienced some very severe flare-ups, which the doctors thought were eczema. But when I returned to Adelaide in April recently, we found out that these are not eczematous flare-ups. It turns out to be Tinea fungal infection, systemically widespread across my skin. Now, it's really quite unfortunate that the doctors in Australia, in Adelaide, at the Royal Adelaide Hospital, did not believe me when I told them in December 2023 that I think I have a Tinea skin infection. The dermatologist at the time did not believe me, and so I asked him to perform either a skin biopsy test or a skin scraping test to confirm my hypothesis. December passes. I keep calling the clinic for the results of my test, and they wouldn't release it to me, even though I'm the patient and those are my test results, because I'm not the doctor. The unfortunate thing about January is that the doctor left the hospital and stopped working there. And so no one got back to me about my test results. February came and I moved to Taiwan, where it is hot and humid. And it's very important that I emphasize on this because that's how fungus thrives. If you have hot, humid weather conditions, climate conditions, the fungus will grow. And that's why from being an isolated case on my neck, it then was widespread across my face, across my inner arms. You can still kind of see some of here and even on my lower body half. And it got so bad that I had to return to Adelaide in April, and then I was assigned a new dermatologist. And the moment she saw me, she's like, I think you have a fungal infection. And then I was like, it's really funny you say that, because back in December, I ordered this test. And then she asked for the results of that test. And then you can just see it on their faces that my hypothesis was correct. And this is where I'm frustrated, because 4 months down the line is when we find out the truth about my skin condition, and then we start treating it. So I'm on a 1-month treatment plan for a fungal skin infection. And what that includes is a tablet for the fungal infection. It includes a topical ointment I have to apply and a very specific skin wash to help eradicate the Tinea fungus. Now, I have 8 days left to this treatment plan, and I'm hoping that everything just clears up because I'm so exhausted. The itchiness from eczema is so different from the itchiness of Tinea fungus. And I have to be very clear about this because the presentation of Tinea will come out as a ringworm, and it's not caused by any worm, but that's just what they call it. So it comes out as a red circle, and then as time unfolds, this red inflamed circle will turn into scaly skin, something like fish scales, and then they will start to fall off. And that's where the itchiness starts, is when your dead skin cells are coming off and your new skin cells are trying to come out. And because your skin cells are regenerating all the time, I think it's 28 days when you totally have new skin. That's why the oral tablet treatment takes 1 month, because they have to ensure that it's completely eradicated from your body before they can say, okay, you're better. And that's where right now, okay, what current like treatment plan I'm on, I am on this fungal treatment. I'm on this traditional Chinese medicine treatment with acupuncture. And I'm also still using my Dupxient. And I take that every 2 weeks. But because I've already passed my 1 year treatment of Dupxient, I'm trying to wean off of that biologic injection. So I'm now changing my injection period to every 3 weeks instead of every 2. Now, everyone's eczema is different, so proceed with caution if you decide to wean off Dupxient. But the reason why I've thought of this is because when I drink alcohol, I notice like my skin gets so red, and I don't know if that's because of the fungus or because of the eczema. So I am experimenting on myself. And why? Why am I doing this? Because I know my body. I have had to be in this body since I was born. And from my experiences living in different countries, being an athlete, being a model, I know how to take care of this body. And especially all the more now because of the degree that I study in the field that I work in, which is health science, with a focus on nutrition and exercise. And so that's why I feel confident in my own advice and what I'm trying to do. And that's also where I have found the courage to do these videos, because eczema patients, we're all frustrated. There's not enough evidence online, and because everyone's body is built differently from their genetics, their reaction to mental, emotional, and environmental stressors, and then there's also the whole environmental living situation, psychologically and also environmentally in terms of climate and weather conditions. So based on all of this, that is why I feel confident in what I'm trying to do now, because I strongly believe that this is what's best for me. And I cannot speak on behalf of other people. I can only ever speak about my case. And that's also why I'm sharing as much as advice and experience as I possibly can, because I hope that in some ways this might help other eczema patients. Now, please note that for people with eczema, you are more prone to fungal and bacterial skin infections than people who do not have eczema. And so, based off of this recent experience, I would highly recommend, if you see yourself with any circular ringworm looking patches, which you can search on Google, consider doing a skin biopsy or a skin scraping test just to confirm what is it that you have. Because if you don't want to be like me, where you were misdiagnosed, the doctor in December said that it's eczema, then in April this year, 4 months later, it turns out to be a fungal infection, then at least you save yourself the time and you can address the root problem immediately, because you don't want it to get worse and then it turns into a life-threatening infection, which I have also experienced 2 years ago in the emergency room, gasping for air because I stopped being able to breathe as a result of a bacterial infection. So that's why I'm sharing as much as I can, because prevention is the best thing to do. It's so much easier as well than to cure. It saves you time, it saves you money, and it saves you all of the mental, emotional stress that comes with having to treat the problem. And so I'm going to now close this very long video by saying, unlike other NCP scholars who don't have a health condition, obviously my time here in Taiwan has been quite unique, because it's not what I planned. It's not what I expected my NCP scholarship in the Indo-Pacific would be, but these are the cards that I was dealt with. And I'm just trying to do the best that I can with the situation that I have as someone with eczema, someone with a sprained ankle, and someone with a fungal skin infection. And so, these things, you can't control your genetics, but you can control how you react to certain situations. You can control how you plan, how you prepare. And so this is the advice and shared lived experience that I'm trying to share to help you in your path and in your journey, because I know how difficult it can be and how alone you may feel, And so if you have any questions at all, then don't be afraid to pop it in the comments, because I will try my very best to respond to your questions. And if you send me a message through my direct messages on Instagram, I respond to those almost instantaneously, depending on the time zone. So feel free to shoot it there, because I do answer a lot of messages. And I think that's also because a support network is essential towards your healing and your recovery. So don't be afraid to chat. Hit subscribe, because I'm trying to do these more consistently. And yeah, I hope to hear from you. I hope that things are going well, you're happy, you're healthy, you're safe in your journey, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.